Dyslexia is a disorder that makes reading, writing, and math challenging for those affected by it. Charles Schwab, CEO of Schwab Financial, is a financial mogul and is dyslexic. He says, quote, "I'm the one who thinks of 3 or 4 things to get to the solution. Many of my counterparts only think of one." Try to read this. Here's what it says. "This is what I see when I read because I am dyslexic. Over the years with my struggle with education, I have realized how confused I have been. I would look at a page with numbers or letters swimming in front of me, and I was lost. Recently, while learning about dyslexia, it makes sense why speech has been such a challenging subject for me. The things that are the hardest for me, reading, writing, memorizing, and speaking in front of a group, all stop me from the swimming experience. I am now learning the proper reading and writing courses to help me with my studies and speech preparation. Prior to understanding my diagnosis, I felt like everyone misunderstood me until I realized it was dyslexia, which was a surprise. Dyslexia is an issue that needs to be addressed, and I will show you how those affected with dyslexia are challenged educationally, how their brains process information, the emotional impacts of dyslexia, and what dyslexics can do to help themselves. Because 1/5 of American children are dyslexic, we all need to be aware of the signs of dyslexia, so children can be fruitful in learning. This book, The Alphabet War, shows you how some young students may feel when learning to read. They may become angry, frustrated, or just stop. I'd say it's pretty angry at them. It would be reasonable if words didn't make sense to become frustrated or stopped up in learning. The way dyslexics process information is different than those who aren't affected by it. In the documentary Rethinking Dyslexia, they talk about the common thought that dyslexics read words backwards. This is not true. Some exchange words like tornado looks like volcano, and mat looks like now. Dyslexics have a tough time with processing information like this. This picture shows how a typical brain functions when reading. The typical brain has the ability to process word analysis, word formation, and articulation. The dyslexic brain has only one area to process reading instead of 3. They are able to see the letters. The dyslexic brain they are able to see the letters but not understand them. Forming sounds of words in the mind creates a tired brain and a tired person. The dyslexic must make pictures in the mind for the words to make sense. It takes time and energy. Their auditory abilities work overtime to compensate for their weaker visual area of the brain. Unfortunately, our world does not use sound primarily to teach reading and math, which can tax the dyslexic. The emotional impacts of dyslexia, like shown on The Alphabet War, show you how lost and unknown some kids are when learning to read. They may become angry, discouraged, or just abandon all types of academics. It takes a compassionate parent, knowledgeable teacher to see through the reasons why dyslexics struggle so much. Studies show that 15 to 20% of all school-aged kids in the U.S. suffer from dyslexia. If I'm not compassionate towards you in this struggle, you may not want to move forward. In anything. I have felt this way personally because I had my own phase. If you feel if you feel unintelligent in your everyday life, it can make you feel ignorant in your relationships or feel socially awkward, and not even want to pursue growth because of how stuck you feel. The emotional aspects of dyslexia are vast and can stop students if they don't receive help. Male and female, as well as all ethnic and socioeconomic populations, are affected equally. Dyslexia is not tied to IQ, but is processing information differently. Male and female, as well as all ethnic and socioeconomic populations, are affected equally. Dyslexia is hereditary, reaching from parents to their children, siblings, and cousins. There is hope for those children affected with reading and math trouble. Students need to learn how they learn best for themselves since there is no cure. This best support is individualized tutoring in specific ways that dyslexics can understand. Strategies that help are: 1. The game Set is a card game that uses shapes, colors, and textures to show differences and similarities. It helps the dyslexic distinguish patterns for letter comprehension. 2. Dyslexia is a font that waves letters B and D and others to help the reader distinguish letters. I first wrote the speech in Times New Roman, which is a traditional font, and it was 2 pages. I then wrote it in Dyslexia font to help me read it better, which ended up being over 5 pages. 3. Using graphic novels and books on audio can help the dyslexic understand content of books. The best news about dyslexics is they often think outside of the box. Many of our society's greatest inventors and business moguls are dyslexic. They found great success in their field because their ability to challenge the status quo and look outside from the mainstream. Gavin Newsom, current Lieutenant Governor of California, says because of his dyslexia, he believes, quote, failures are the portal to discovery, end quote. The most successful people I know learn from their mistakes and move forward. The best a dyslexic can do with their parents and teachers is learn how they learn best. With that knowledge, they can advocate for themselves in a higher learning and work environment. Sir Richard Branson of Virgin Airlines, a billionaire and owner of over 300 companies, who quit school at the age of 15 because of his undiagnosed dyslexia, said his teacher told him, quote, you'll either be in prison or a millionaire. Many parents and teachers feel this way with dyslexic students who are brilliant in many things other than standard academics. Try to read this. Here's what it says. I've been working on my dyslexia with reading courses and memory prompts to help me with my schoolwork. I'm not the only one who has struggles with reading and math, so I encourage you to see people who do in a positive light. Those who have dyslexia are not lazy or slow, but perceive the world differently. Having dyslexia may seem like a daunting and discouraging diagnosis to the person who has it, but they can learn how to be successful in their own way by learning the widespread impact of dyslexia. With help and encouragement, they can understand the problems associated with dyslexia, how to manage dyslexia, and see examples of successful people with dyslexia, which can be the difference between poor and successful academic and life skills. I will press on to learn from my mistakes and move forward. I believe all kids deserve that chance.